Welcome to another edition of Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Reckling. Thank you for joining us here on Life Outdoors. Life Outdoors is sponsored by Ocracoke Tourism Development Authority. Ocracoke, miles from the mainstream. Okay, so we are in the winter season right now, and what better outdoor activity to enjoy this time of year, especially the winter we've been having, than the great sport of skiing or snowboarding. And, snowboarding and skiing, like surfing and outdoor activities, is really dictated a lot by weather. And today we're joined by wavy weather meteorologist Brian Michigan, host of Hang 10, and also avid skier. So this is kind of a really popular thing for so many people in Hampton Roads. I don't know how, my parents thankfully got me skiing when I was a young kid, but some 30 years ago when I suffered some major knee injuries.
It's a brutal, both sports, skiing and snowboarding, are a little bit more brutal on your body than surfing is, that's for sure.
Well,
but they're fun.
Something had to go, and so skiing, unfortunately for me, was one of the first things to go. But I don't even know how popular it is today. Because
it's exploded. It's exploded. Skiing and snowboarding?
Because it was kind of a big deal back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And I don't even know what it is today, because I know snowboarding has kind of pushed it over the top. When did you start?
I started snowboarding first. I snowboarded and then skied. So I'm from New Jersey, and we're only 2 hours from the Pocono Mountains. Here it's a little bit more difficult. You got to get to Massanutten or Wintergreen, and those are kind of 3 hours, 3.5 hours away. So it's a little bit more challenging to kind of get your weekend trips in. But I grew up in New Jersey, where we were not too far in proximity to a mountain. So I used to go every weekend during the school year, during the winter, with my family and a bunch of my friends. Like my hometown friends growing up, like that's what we kind of bonded on the most. It wasn't actually surfing, yes, but it was more so weekend trips to go skiing and snowboarding. And I started out snowboarding, I believe I was 8 or 9. It was roughly around the time I started surfing. And I picked it up pretty quickly because it was so similar to surfing in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, that's the best time to learn is when you're a kid.
When you're young.
You're so short and so low to the ground, and it's so much easier for kids.
Yeah.
What was your home ski resort?
It was Shawnee Mountain in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so Seven Springs was a really popular place for my family.
Yeah, so that's
Seven Springs.
Western Pennsylvania. I've been there once before. I actually went there with a bunch of buddies when I was attending Penn State.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of friends there that all love to ski as well, and we did a trip. I believe it was like an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours from State College, and we had a blast. It was really fun. Seven Springs is a great terrain park. I love doing tricks and doing all that fun stuff.
Tricks are for kids.
Tricks are for kids, but I love doing all that stuff. I'll have some video kind of flashing up on the screen as this goes.
So Shawnee
Mountain in
how many rides do they have? How many lifts? How many trails?
I think their trail count, if I remember correctly, is around 23-ish.
Yeah, something like a Wintergreen, Massanutten.
But some of those are really small. Some of those runs that you would count as a trail are like connectors to longer runs.
Yeah.
So it's, I would say, probably around 6 to 8 long runs that go from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And they have 2 terrain parks, and of course, again, me and my friends spent a lot of time in the terrain parks growing up. But it was a fun place to start because in the Poconos, you got the New York City crowd, you got the Philadelphia crowd, and then Northeast Pennsylvania is kind of busy as well. So it's like if you go to a certain resort, it could be really crowded one day. Shawnee was more or less one of those places where one day of the weekend was always packed. The next day was like desolate, and you'd have runs all to yourself. So it was kind of a hit or miss thing.
So you said you started on a snowboard?
Started on a snowboard and then went to skiing.
See, that's very unique because most people start on skis and go to a snowboard.
And I was really good at snowboarding growing up. I don't have any, this is well before I filmed myself. Like surfing, I film myself doing action sports all the time, but I have, pictures of me, gaper goggles and helmet not connecting, and I looked like a total kook. But I loved snowboarding, and I loved that feeling of like going edge to edge and like the cart. Like it just felt like when you're carving down the mountain, you're doing like a never ending cutback on a surfboard. So like I liked that feeling. Snowboarding hurts a little more. It hurts your butt. You're sitting a lot of the time. If you catch an edge, you're connected to your snowboard. So the whiplash falling is a lot more intense, but it's still really fun. I moved to skiing when I was around 12, 13, 14 years old. I think it was in that range.
So that's, yeah.
I did that because all of my friends growing up skied.
Right.
And they were getting into the tricks, and there's just so many different tricks you can do because skis, you have two of them. You can cross them up, there's so many more different grabs when you're doing tricks. And I don't know. It's just, I had a lot more friends skiing. So naturally I was just like, I want to do what they're doing.
Right.
And so it was never like, I hate snowboarding. I still love snowboarding. Like, it's so much fun. But I kind of liked going from one to the other, and now I can kind of do both. It's pretty sweet.
That's nice. I grew up skiing and gave snowboarding a try when it first became popular.
Yeah,
I mean,
because there was a ski snowboard rivalry for a while.
Well, I mean, it was nothing but ski.
Right. Like, some mountains you couldn't snowboard. It was not allowed.
No. Yes, but there was no snowboarding.
Yeah, like
when it was invented.
Right. It's recent.
And then it became, yes.
Of course.
Because going back to the beginning. And then that's when I went through transition of the knee and thought, you know what, I got to give it a try. And I gave it a try. And I feel everything you're saying. It was a little more painful. It was a little more challenged. A little, on a bad knee, it wasn't as forgiving.
It's really big on your core strength. You got to be through the roof for, especially like I always go back to like talking about like the tricks, and tricks are for kids, and doing tricks on your skis or snowboard.
Jumps, you always want to hit jumps.
It requires a lot of core strength though, like moguls on your skis.
And I don't even know. I mean, do snowboarders even do moguls?
Oh, I've seen a few do them. It's definitely a little bit more manageable on skis.
I
But
don't even manage. Like, are we really going to hit bumps on?
I have a funny story. So, Killington, Vermont. We used to go there. Like,
I've been to Killington many times.
Awesome. The Beast of the East is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's probably
Cascades.
Yeah. It's Killington is probably one of those mountains where it feels the closest to skiing out west as you possibly can on the East Coast.
Yep.
There's
Outer
not many
limits.
There's not many places where you can get that West Coast feel on an East Coast mountain. Killington's one of those places you can get close. I was with a bunch of my friends. I think we were like 16. And we are all in a group. All my friends are skiers. We have one buddy. His name is Mike, who snowboards. We took him down this run. We were kind of messing with him because he was talking about how he hates moguls because he's on a snowboard. It's much more difficult. It's almost impossible. So we were just trying to mess with him, and we went down this run. He didn't know. This was his first time in Killington, and he was like, oh, like, we're going down this one. All right, like cool. And we're like, all right, yeah, Mike, come this way. We're leading him in the wrong direction because we wanted to get him on a moguls course. And all of a sudden, we're going down this just one-way trail. There's no like split trails. There's no other options. It's a steep, like I think it was either a black or a double black. And there was moguls down at the bottom of it. The last little chute down to the lift was moguls.
No choice.
And he had no choice but to follow us. And we all got to the top of it, looking down, and he looks at all of us and he goes, you guys are the worst. And we all started cracking up because we had to watch him go down the moguls trail on a black diamond or double black. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you brought up Killington. I mean, that is some tremendous skiing up there in Vermont.
Yeah.
All right, so look, and we're going to take a short break here on Life Outdoors, and we'll talk more skiing. And we're going to get a forecast from the meteorologist guy here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So stick around, everyone. You're watching Life Outdoors.
Visit Ocracoke and step into a world where every moment feels like a getaway. Savor fresh seafood straight from the sea, stroll along sun-kissed beaches, and let the gentle breeze carry your cares away. Paddle calm waters, explore hidden trails, and discover the unique stories that make this island unforgettable. Explore a village where the pace is gentle, and every corner holds a story. Whether it's a beach campfire or a quiet walk, Ocracoke offers moments that linger long after you leave. Slow down, you're here. Plan your escape at visitocracokenc.com.
Welcome back to Life Outdoors. I'm with meteorologist Brian Michigan, host of Hang 10, surfer, but also avid skier and snowboarder. You were mentioning Killington. That is some cold skiing up
the
there.
last time I went,
It's really, really cold
yeah,
in Killington, Vermont.
The last time I went, I believe there was a good amount of wind. It was, I believe, -6 to -8 degrees. The actual air temp, -20 something with the wind chill. So it was brutal.
The lift rides are crushing.
Oh my gosh, they're and most of the chairlifts, because nowadays we call them bubbles, but you can kind of pull down
like a gondola.
It's kind of like a gondola, but for just a normal ski lift. Yeah. You can kind of pull down this cover, and that keeps you warm on the ride up. The only thing like dangling below it is your like knees down to your skis.
Man, it's been a long time since I've done that.
But the last time we went, this was kind of just getting installed for places like Killington. So I believe there's only one lift that actually had this. The rest of them, you were just exposed to the elements.
Yeah.
So,
old school, baby.
I had
Tough it out.
I think 4 layers. I think I had like the long johns on.
4.
I had
That's it.
long sleeve hoodie / fleece, and then my jacket. 2 layers of gloves with the hand warmers, it was brute, and then just ski socks with your boots. I think I double layered my ski socks because it was that cold.
Yeah.
My brothers had to bail; they went in. I think it was me and my dad left it by the time the day was over because we kind of, prepped a little bit more. My brothers they only brought the 1 pair of ski socks, and we were like, "You're gonna need 2."
What size skis do you ride?
So park skis, you want to go a little longer because if you do tricks and you're landing, you want to have more stability when you land. So
I understand all that.
Yeah,
what do you normally ride?
I'm usually right now I'm on 186s.
Okay, that's pretty long.
So it's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not too small, but
yeah. The last time I skied actually, when I was in New Jersey, I totally forgot my skis here, and went up there and was like, all my buddies wanted to go, and I was like, you know what? I knew I should have brought my skis. We skied Hunter Mountain in New York, and the backup pair of skis that were my buddies that he left, he moved out, and I was using these. I think they were like 171s underfoot, and they felt so small. And I was like going down like these blacks at a Hunter Mountain, and I was just like, hold on, like there's no edges on these skis either because they're park skis. So like my buddy just wear down the edges over time. So I'm just like sliding down these black diamond slopes and just no edges, just free falling basically.
I tell you, like I said, my parents thankfully got the family into skiing, and we had a ski club at my high school. I worked at the ski center locally. I was a technician.
I love skiing. It's great to.
I miss skiing more than anything.
Yeah.
All the outdoor activities, because on a really good day, on a beautiful spring warmer day with good conditions. Just seeing the mountain and the joy you get when you're riding, it's just, there's nothing like it.
And not even that, just also like the winter can be a long season sometimes, and it could also be a dull season too. Like your mood, it's gray, it's cloudy out, it's cold. Your stoke meter, I like to say, is not very high in the winter because you're not outside, you're not soaking in the sun like in the summertime. You're having fun on the beach and whatnot. Even if you're just laying on the beach, the vibes are just really good because it's warm.
That's the après-ski.
But the wintertime, like to get through the wintertime doldrums,
right.
I like to say, what better way than skiing or snowboarding?
Right,
it's a great outlet.
Let's narrow into Virginia skiing. So
Yes.
you have 3 resorts. You've got Bryce Mountain, you've got Massanutten, and you've got Wintergreen.
Where is Bryce Mountain?
Bryce? I've never skied Bryce.
Is it how far?
I think it's Allegheny Mountains.
Okay.
It's the Alleghenies. It's just the smaller of the 3.
Right. Okay.
And then Massanutten's the smaller of the not bigger than Bryce, but Wintergreen's the better of the 3. And then you can just jump right over to Snowshoe.
Yeah, snowshoes.
Have you skied Snowshoe?
From what I haven't, but from
Really
what I've
good.
heard, it's like the south version of Killington. Not as big, but like still, it's like good.
It is a great resort.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really compare. I mean, yeah, okay, it does. I don't want to cut them short.
That's why I say
because Cup Run is a really good expert slope that's long. Because that's the distance, the length of the runs is what separates the really good resorts from others.
Totally. You don't want to be, you drop in.
Spend your whole time on a lift.
When I was in Penn State, we had a Tussey Mountain. 10 minutes from my apartment, and it was the only ski resort within an hour and 30 minutes. You're in a valley, Happy Valley. That's why they call Penn State. So you're surrounded by mountains, but a lot of it is protected land, so there's not many areas for ski resorts. There is one, though, but the vertical drop is like maybe 600 feet, and so you could bomb the whole hill and be done in 30 seconds, like from top to bottom.
Ugh.
And you got to go an hour and a half to 2 hours east or west to find something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So it's on the East Coast. I would say it's definitely not like West Coast skiing. That's for sure.
I've never skied out west.
It's awesome.
I know.
I'm surprised that you've never skied out west.
Well,
You're an
I mean,
outdoors guy.
Well, I tore my knee up when I was in college.
Oh, so you were just
I started 21, 22, and then the next couple of years it was sort of faded out. So I never got there. But I do feel like my knee's good enough, and I would never go back to a snowboard. But I think on skis on
just
the
take
right
it
conditions.
easy. Yeah, take it easy on when.
What's a lift ticket now?
Have fun, save your money.
What's a lift ticket? Is it an hour at the wave park? More?
No, a lift ticket's less than an hour at the wave park. But
man,
in my opinion, as someone who definitely enjoys surfing more than anything in the world, I would say save your money, go on a surf excursion. The thing is, it's like the lift ticket. You buy the lift ticket and you get a full day.
I know.
Of riding, but it's like, do you want to deal with the getting beat up? The crowds too.
Well, I mean, you would pick and choose.
That's true.
The weekends are always more crowded than the weekdays.
Oh, yeah.
You want to make sure the conditions are right or whatever.
You can score a day. You could easily score a day with nobody on it. But I've skied Big Sky, Montana. I did it 2 years ago. My buddy lives in Bozeman, Montana, so that's his local spot. Living out there, so we went out there, skied in well above the tree line. It was awesome. And we got into some of the best parks in the world, some of the best terrain parks. Powder skiing, which the skiing, it wasn't that deep when we went, but it was still the best snow of my life, like bar none, guaranteed. Also skied the steepest slope of my life too. We shot through this little like canyon-ish feature. It was like I think it was marked as a triple black. One of the scariest runs I'd ever been on, but it was so thrilling. So if you ever get the chance to go out west, like I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to charge something a little bit more gnarly. I'm going back there actually in a couple weeks. First week of February, I'll be back in Big Sky. So nice. I'll have to come back on and show you some of the footage I get.
All right, listen, now's a good time to take a little short break here on Life Outdoors, and we're going to give you a forecast, talk about what you can expect in the winter season with snow, if there's snow for the higher elevations in Virginia or maybe here locally with Brian, Michigan. Stick around, everyone. You're watching Life Outdoors. Welcome back to Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Reckling. We're talking outdoor skiing, a little bit of alpine sports, and what a great time to do it because the Winter Olympics are just weeks away in Italy. And we're talking with meteorologist Brian, Michigan. All right, let's talk snow because here in Hampton Roads, it is on record date, it's January 8th. We've had 4 measurable snows in Hampton Roads already.
It's been a pretty good start. It's been the week that we're filming this, though. It's like 70 degrees, of course. So
I know, but they have a pretty decent base at all our local.
They've had the local resorts have had a great start.
Yeah,
a great start,
and they have great snowmaking systems too.
Awesome, and this far south in latitude, you have to have a very efficient snowmaking process because when you're given those opportunities to make snow, you have to make sure you're capitalizing at each moment. You need those temps to be cold. This week, of course, when we're filming this, is not cold, but fingers crossed. It's still long ways to go this winter.
Okay, well, let's talk about what can people expect the rest of the winter because right now
it's been a good start.
It's January. Skiing in this area goes until April. Whatever. I don't know.
West Virginia, for Virginia mountains.
March.
Here it's usually March, like very beginning of March, unless it's a really good season. Then it leads into a really cold March.
Yeah.
March is a month. I always find it to be a very exciting month when it comes to ski season because on the East Coast you either get it or you don't.
Right.
Like some winters you can have winter storm after winter storm after winter storm, and you can actually just some of the deepest powder days of my life on the East Coast have been in March. I've also had some of the warmest Marches of my life where the ski resorts close first week of March because it's 80 degrees out.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
so
put on your forecast hat. Are we going to have more snow here locally?
I think so.
In the higher elevations.
I think so. The higher elevations for sure. I think as of the time we're recording this, we're probably going to get some on Sunday for places like West Virginia. I don't think so much into Virginia, but Snowshoe will probably get another nice hit of snow. I would say it would be very fair to say that this season will probably be a very seasonal one, like right around the average when it comes to snowfall before it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. We're also going to be probably watching for some big shifts to come over the next, I'd say, month to month and a half. I think there will be some cold air outbreaks moving in, followed by some really quick warm-ups, which we're kind of used to sometimes. But I think last winter was one where, like, when it was cold, it stayed cold for a while.
Right.
I don't think we're going to get that again this year. So it's going to be kind of weekend to weekend based if the conditions are going to be great or if they're going to be a little lousy.
Okay, so Massanutten, average snow that they actually get in Massanutten a year is 16 inches.
Wow. That's it.
Yeah, it's not much.
That's not much. I wonder how much they're at right now.
I have no idea.
Because I think they're at least...
Well, right now, Massanutten, 12. They have a 12-inch base.
That's machine made though.
Yeah,
for the most part.
And 7 lifts are open, 100% of the runs.
That's
all. 23
that's a great
trails.
start.
It is, and that's as of January 8th.
If I have to remember back to the snowstorms we've had, I think Massanutten's probably around halfway there to their seasonal snow total, maybe a little less than halfway there. So I think they still got some room to work. I think they'll have more shots of getting some powder, maybe a little bit of powder days mixed in there, but. Yeah, Massanutten's crushing it. A lot of these other places out there, Timberline and Snowshoe, I saw have
Snowshoe has 60-inch base.
Yeah, they're much colder usually, so
higher elevation.
Higher elevation, way more opportunities to make snow. You need that cold air. That's all it comes down to. Your base for Virginia mountains is never going to be as much. Last year was an exception though. Last winter, from what I hear, was an incredible season for skiing.
Yeah, it was cold
for
and
a
we even
while.
had a decent snow here.
A lot of snows.
It lasted pretty long.
Yeah, so again, I don't think it'll be quite like what that season had, but you never know. It only takes one storm, one big snowstorm. Like Massanutten, you just said usually they get around 16 inches of snow per winter. That could be doubled in one storm if you get the right setup. So
and Wintergreen close by to Massanutten has a 36-inch base. It's a little bit higher elevation.
A little bit higher.
A little more trails. They have 27 trails and 20 of them are open right now. So most of their lifts are open. So before you go, always check conditions, and this is the time to get it.
Yeah, so. I was just in Ski World in Virginia Beach, and because I needed to get something for my Montana trip coming up soon, and I went in there and I was shocked by how busy it was in that place. I was like, wow, there's a much bigger ski community around here than you think. A lot of people liking to take those weekend trips west.
I gotta be honest. I worked for either one of them. It was either Ski World or Ski Center. It was like a winter that I was a technician, and was I was also on the bus trips that would be one of the people that led some trips. And there's nothing better than taking a day bus trip. That was like in the day. It was inexpensive. Bright and early on the bus. Boom, you're there.
And you don't have to drive either. You're just kind of
drop you off.
On the bus.
Yeah, ski rentals. Everything was taken care of. But you always want to do it around the conditions. So it was really busy. That's good to know.
Yeah. I was stoked because it reminded me of home, because a lot of the surf shop I used to work at a surf shop, Brave New World, and it was surf and snow. So
it's pretty smart.
We carried everything from surfboards to snowboards to skis, and during the winter season it got jam packed. People were looking to take weekend trips, so it kind of reminded me of home in a way. So it was cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think Virginia and New Jersey are that far off when it comes to surfing and skiing.
No, they're very similar.
Because the mountains are sort of the same. Blue
same
Ridge,
distance,
smaller. But you're a little closer to Killington.
A little closer,
and a
to
couple
Killington.
of those bigger resorts up north.
We have a little bit better access up there. But.
Yeah. Gosh, man. Like I said, one of the things that I miss more than anything, and I've said it for years, is that it's just a good day on the mountain.
Yeah. What's stopping you? Get on there.
6 knee operations, an artificial knee,
that might
all
do
that. I think if I got on the right set of skis and the right conditions, without going to the double diamond. Because I'm my worst enemy.
Know your limits. That's the number one thing.
I've never known my limits. To me, it was always point the skis downward and see how fast I could go.
You're an adrenaline junkie,
and I always have been. And it never ends well for somebody like that.
Well, I'd say if you do plan on going, stick to maybe something you're comfortable with, because you never know an injury. And I even think of this when I'm debating on trying a new trick. I'm like, is it worth getting hurt to be out of the water for 7 months? is my thought.
out of the water. It's all about. It comes back to surfing.
My life revolves
all
around
comes
surfing,
back.
but
I get it.
skiing and boarding is
All
fun
that.
in the winter too.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us here on Life Outdoors.
Of course.
And talking skiing and winter sports and giving us a ski update. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for joining us once again on Life Outdoors. Life Outdoors is sponsored by Ocracoke Tourism Development Authority. Don't forget, Life Outdoors is new each Friday here on Wavy Plus. We'll see you next time.
You.